I think that you're wasting my time.
I'm not genuinely. Like, when you look, what you're doing now is just you're looking at the same Bible, except a little bit more descriptive. What I was after is
I showed
the name of the word in terms of
what you asked for, and now you're playing dumb. I think you're wasting my time.
Hello, amazing and fascinating viewers. Welcome back to Religious Insight. On our today's episode of our usual debate with Godlogic, a Muslim make an outrageous claims that Jesus never died, that Allah took him to himself. Let's watch this video to find out exactly what happened.
So there's a few meanings to the word.
Yeah, and that Allah took his soul. Do you believe that Allah took his soul?
You know that Allah took him up to him.
In death.
And hence why, let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you what I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Obviously, as any Muslim would, Jesus, son of Mary, the Messiah.
Jesus Christ, you were right, Jesus Christ.
Isa, son of Mary, yeah? So, he is the Messiah, and he has been taken up to heaven, whether in body or in spirit, we don't know. But I know that he did not taste death. And you know how I know that?
How you know? Because
in Quran says every soul will taste death. And we know for a fact that Jesus will come down at the end of times to defeat the Antichrist. And then he will actually die. And henceforth, he didn't. He didn't.
Wait, what?
Die. Does that make sense?
No.
Do you agree that Jesus will come down at the end of times to defeat the Antichrist?
Yeah.
Right. Do you agree that then he will die?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why is that?
Because he lives forever.
Yeah, but you're saying that he already died.
Yeah, he died and rose again, never to die again.
So why wouldn't you agree that he will die once he comes back again after he defeats the Antichrist?
Because he has eternal life, he can't die again.
Yeah, but he died here before, according to you.
Yeah, according to a particular purpose. That purpose was fulfilled.
So there's no issue with him dying again then?
It is. He can't die again.
He can't, but he can die one time before.
Yeah.
So that's not logical, is it?
It is.
How?
Because he fulfilled a particular purpose.
What is that purpose?
He became mortal. He is immortal now.
He came mortal, he is immortal. What does that mean?
He's immortal now.
He wasn't before.
He had mortal flesh, right? Experienced death. And now, he rised again.
Yeah, but he's going to come down at the end of times that people are going to see him again. So he has to come down in mortal flesh again. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
It's not mortal flesh. He's coming in immortal flesh.
Right, okay. Well, again, it doesn't make sense to me. But what does make sense is that he didn't die, and he will come down at the end of times, and he will actually taste death, because everybody needs to.
Why can't he come down in immortal death?
This is in the context of Jesus, son of Mary, being the prophet and messenger of God, not God himself, obviously.
Why can't he come down in immortal flesh?
Nemesis, why are you ashamed of my deen? Again, God, I'm just running along with the context, but God is way above, way higher to come down in mortal flesh. Way higher for anybody to...
I said immortal. Why can't he come back, talking about Jesus, why can't he come back in immortal flesh and not die?
So he's coming back to earth in two different forms.
Yeah, the first time he came, he was mortal. Second time he's coming, he's immortal.
So what's the difference between the first coming and the second coming that requires mortal and immortal flesh?
The first coming, he came to die and redeem man. The second time, he's coming to bring judgment and establish God's kingdom forever.
Does he need immortal flesh for that? Can't you just say, be and it will be?
Well, he raised that body that died. He raised it up again to immortality. That's why he's coming in immortal flesh. So what is wrong with that? What's wrong with, why can't Jesus come?
Then if it's right. So when you say he will be bringing up about the just kingdom, is that what you said? Is that God's kingdom? Mm-hmm. What's
I'm waiting for you to answer my question.
What is that exactly?
I already answered 3 of your questions. I'm waiting for my question now.
What is the question going?
Why can't Jesus come back in immortal flesh?
Because there would be no need for, if the first coming did not need more immortal, what sort? Obviously we're talking about a hypothesis here. There's no such thing as immortal flesh, but all flesh is mortal, and that's the creation of flesh. Well, at least in this world anyways. So immortal flesh, what I don't see logically is the need for that, since there was no need for that in the first time. And why the change, if it was to be true? Because consistence, we say, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدْ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدْ. Consistence and everlasting is a trait of God. So the change is not exactly something, that we attribute to God necessarily.
What do you mean a change?
God doesn't change. He's the first, he's the last, he's above, he's the below, he's within, he's around, and he doesn't change. We change. Everything in this world changes. That's what it is made for.
Doesn't change in what sense?
You cannot possibly keep anything constant in this world. The only constant thing is God. And hence when you tell me that for a first and a second time there's changes, this is especially in God himself.
That's not answering my question. Why can't Jesus come in immortal flesh? Why does that? You're saying that doesn't make sense.
Do you want me to ask? Do you want me to answer from my perspective or from yours? This is important.
I'm asking you. You don't hold.
From my perspective, Jesus is a prophet. He's a man. He is a prophet. He is a.
Both have a cough.
Oh, bruv. I can tell you this cough is very annoying.
Yeah. Look. Abu Ubaid said, the origin of this word is talking about Masih. The origin of this word in Hebrew is Mashiach, which was Arabized, just as the name Moshe was Arabized to Musa. So that's where the word Masih.
What you reading from?
This is Islam Q&A that gives the different scholarly sources on it.
What is that line from? What is that? Is that a hadith, or is that just an opinion of a scholar?
It's a tafsir.
So this is opinion. This is an opinion of a man.
Of a scholar.
Yeah. So this is an opinion of a man. A scholar is a man.
Yeah, you're a man.
Opinions are open to discussion. People make effort and they get it right and they get it wrong. Now, Arabized here, obviously this is a translation of the Arabic word that Abu Ubaid has said. When you say Arabized, I want to see what the original word that he said is. But I assume he meant it in the terms that when the Quran came down in the Arabic language, and therefore this would be his, if he was Arab, or if he was using the Arabic language at the time, that would be his name. So Moshe would be Musa, and Jesus would be Isa, and stuff like that.
Actually, Jesus is like Yeshua is Yesu, really.
Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not versed in that, but I assume Arabized mean here that the use of the Arab name, if he would have used it.
Yeah, I don't know where they get Isa is a non-Arabic name. I don't know where they even get Isa from.
Again, Isa was not an Arab.
It's not an Arabic name. Isa itself is not an Arabic name.
Isa, I'm sure it is. Obviously, I can't log off here and actually search. I'm gonna go and find my other phone to kind of help in this conversation. But again,
but yeah, just saying, you can't separate Masih from the word Mashiach. It literally comes from it.
You can't separate the word Messiah or Messiah from Jesus. But that's neither here nor there. The use of the word.
Well, the point is, when you identify Jesus as Messiah, you're identifying as the heavenly King who rules forever.
And who translated the word Mashiach?
What do you mean? Who translated it?
The translation that you're using for the word Mashiach? Who's given it?
Yeah, that's the Hebrew word.
Yeah, but the Hebrew word has had an English description to it or a certain definition to it, and who
Messiah is the English of it.
yeah. So the word Mashiach that you use and the definition of it, where did you get that from?
The scriptures.
Scriptures. Can you bring that up? Because obviously, if it's another guy's work or someone who's translated it so to match their narrative, then that's understandable.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
not really.
Again, I told you, I'm very hard hit on it. If it does not match what the Word of God says, it doesn't go. It doesn't make sense. But again, from my perspective, Jesus Christ did not die, and hence why he needs to come back down, and the Antichrist, and then.
But the Word of God says that the Messiah can't die when he comes down. It says that he has to rule forever.
Which Word of God? You mean the Old Testament or the New Testament?
The Old Testament, both actually.
Well, the thing is, we know for a fact that they both have been manipulated and worked on by people.
No, we don't. Your Quran doesn't say that.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Of course it does.
Oh, yeah?
يحرفون الكلمة عن مواضعه. It says that quite a few times actually.
That's interesting.
Well, the Quran doesn't say that the Bible and the Torah have been manipulated.
No, and the Torah is the Bible.
Well, it tells you. No, there's difference. There's Torah and there's Injil. So there's two.
What's the Bible?
The Bible is Injil.
No. You don't know what the Bible is?
we have two books. We have the Injil, which
You have multiple books.
Isa alayhi salam came down with.
Don't forget
And we
the
have
Zabur.
the Torah, which is Moses.
Don't forget the Psalms, the Zabur. Don't forget that. Don't forget the writings of the prophets.
What's the Psalms?
The Zabur. The writings of
Zabur, that's Dawood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's David. That's not neither Musa, Jesus or Musa.
Yeah, but it's
or
in the
Moses.
Bible. It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I assume it's in the Bible because religions build on.
Yeah, so the Torah, the Psalms, the Gospel, and all the writings of the prophets like Ezekiel, Zechariah, Jeremiah, it's in the Bible. So the Bible is a collection of all the scriptures. That's what the Bible is.
I don't actually know how it works, but I know that Injil, as it comes, is Jesus. Torah is Moses. Zabur is David, and obviously they have been replaced by other prophets and other messages for a reason, and things have changed from one to the other. So things have changed from the time of Moses to the time of Jesus. Am I correct?
No, nothing was replaced. What are you talking about?
Say again.
Nothing was replaced.
Yes, it has. So when Jesus came. Jesus came with a different set of rules. So for Moses, it was more practical, more pragmatic, and more like hands-on, to the point where a disobeying child was to be killed in Moses's.
You have the legalism of the nation of Israel that stands for Israel, and then you have the Gentiles who are then ingratiated in the gospel and in the grace of Christ, who are not under the law of Moses. The law of Moses was not replaced.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Jesus did not kill disobeying children, did he?
But you got to say unalived.
So, unalive. Sorry, he didn't order the unaliving of disobeying of children who disobeyed their parents, did he?
Yeah, please don't misquote my Bible. Please be respectful.
I'm actually saying Jesus did
please
not.
Don't cut me off while I'm also trying to correct you and help you.
Okay, go on then.
Don't misquote the Bible. It's not disobeying your parents. It's about cursing your parents. Those who curse and dishonor their parents. And it's not kids. It's mature children of parents who do this. It could be adults. It could be adults. It's adult people who are doing this, not kids.
So does it say in the Bible to do that as well?
That's the law of Moses.
But did Jesus apply that?
We
as far as I know, he didn't.
We don't see Jesus running into that issue.
So he didn't. I mean, surely there would be people that fall into that line, but he didn't.
Well, I don't. Well, you can't assume that. I didn't see. The Bible doesn't talk about Jesus running into that issue.
So he never done it. Otherwise, I would have mentioned it. The whole point of sending a different. The whole point.
Silence, actually.
Because obviously you have to understand, right, that every other prophet have been sent to a specific nation. Did they not?
To a specific nation?
Yeah. So Moses was sent for Banu Israel. David was for his people. Ibrahim was for the people around.
What was David for?
The proof being, David is Dawood. The proof being is that while Ibrahim was a prophet and a messenger in Mecca at that time,
who was David for? Who's the nation that David was for?
Lut was in the Levant at the same time. So these prophets have been sent.
Do you hear me asking you a question? Who was David sent to?
I don't know. You tell me.
You don't know who David was?
I've only quoted David because you mentioned him. You said the gospel or something.
The Psalms.
Psalms.
David was also an Israelite. So he's a prophet of the Jews.
Right.
In fact, all of the prophets were Jews.
All of them?
Yeah.
But so was Abraham.
Well, Abraham, the Jews came after. So the Jews are descendants of Abraham. Abraham was just a Hebrew. So you want to be technical, they were all the prophets were Hebrews.
Right. Okay. So does that make Muhammad a Hebrew?
Nah, Muhammad doesn't have any connection with Abraham.
He doesn't?
Nah.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he doesn't.
I do have the lineage on my phone here, but I can't obviously access it because I'm on the live. I'm not sure if I can actually. Can I?
Can I say that the Messiah?
I think if I swipe up, it might disconnect me from the live.
Can I show you that the Messiah is supposed to be king?
Is it from the Bible?
Yeah, that's where you get Messiah from.
Messiah. I get Messiah from Messiah. And that's in the Quran.
It's in the Bible.
And it's in the Quran. That's where I get it from. Again, obviously, I do sometimes try to debate you from your point of view and try to understand you. But obviously, I might need to remind you that we debate in completely different point of views. You believe that Jesus is God and he never dies, and I believe he's a messenger and a prophet.
Well, you believe that he's the Messiah, so that means that you believe he never dies. So you can't. I used this analogy earlier.
Yeah.
You cannot say that you cannot call something an apple while denying that it's a fruit.
Right. Okay. Let me not use the English word then. I believe he's the Messiah.
It doesn't matter what word, English, Arabic, Hebrew. It doesn't matter. You're identifying as Messiah. Mashiach, doesn't matter what language you use, You're identifying as this person, which means that you're identifying him as the king of the earth who will never die. That's who the Messiah is, bro.
Give me 1 second, let me tell you what I identify him as, what I know Messiah has been. Because the word Messiah comes from Masaha, and it's got a lot of origins. Now just show me what you have, let me see.
So, you see here?
Part are we looking at?
I want to read you this. This is Psalm chapter 2. This is the book of David.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. It says, "Why do the nations rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh the Lord, and against his Messiah, or anointed one," as it says here in the English, saying. So in the Hebrew, it's Mashiach.
Where is it? Where's the Messiah here? Let me see.
The word anointed?
Let me just clear the screen 1 second.
You see the word anointed?
Anointed.
It's
saying, where's the Messiah? Where's the Messiah here?
It's Mashiach in the Hebrew.
Where is it? Go up a little bit, because the comments are on it as well.
I'm right here.
Let me just clear display. There we go. Anointed, let us respond.
So the word anointed.
There is no Messiah here.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said, but I can't see. I can't read it. It's not there.
This is an English translation. The word anointed here in the Hebrew of the English translation, the Hebrew is Mashiach.
And where's the translation? Now let's look at the translation of Mashiach.
It's right here. It's anointed.
Yeah, but that's what Mashiach means. Yeah, but that's the Bible version translate. I need the actual translation of the word. I'm sure it knows.
So you want to see the Hebrew? So you want to see the Hebrew? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to see what.
I'll show you the Hebrew.
Mashiach means. That's Mashiach, is it? Mm-hmm. Mashiach.
Yeah, that's the form because it's the his.
Yahweh against. But that's still just a translation. How do you spell Mashiach?
You have the Hebrew that's right there, bro. That's the Hebrew word. Here's the translation of it, his anointed.
Let me just write
the word as Mashiach. If you want me to click on it, I'll give it to you. You see, I just clicked on it.
But that's still the same Bible translation, isn't it?
It's the Hebrew.
Yeah, but it's still the same. I understand that completely, but that's still the same translation. We're still looking at the same thing, except a little bit more.
What is your contention?
What I was looking at is if you can look up the actual word itself instead of looking at it in the Bible, just look up the actual word in terms of the linguistics, Hebrew linguistic meaning.
I have it right here.
Yeah, but that's Mashiach. Let me just.
I think that you're wasting my time.
I'm not genuinely, like, when you look, what you're doing now is just you're looking at the same Bible, except a little bit more descriptive. What I was after is
I showed
the name of the word in terms of
what you asked for, and now that you're playing dumb. I think you're wasting my time.
I'm genuinely not.
I gave you a chance, though, so take care of yourself, man.
No, Right, welcome back, guys. I believe that was an amazing one. Let us know what you were able to learn in the comment section. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, your family. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Muslims always claim that Jesus did not die, but Allah took him to himself. If you ask them where is Allah, they will say Allah is seated above his throne, that is not on his throne but is above his throne. The implication of that statement is that Jesus is seated exactly where Allah is seated if Allah took him to himself, which is above his throne, making him equal with Allah if you're making such an assumption. So many of them are not even aware of this implication if we should go by their logic. The same logic these guys use in judging the Bible, if they use half of that logic on the Quran, we'll have so many ex-Muslims. Because they are raised not to question their religion, they walk on in darkness and the foundation of their faith are out of course. If they should ask 1/3 of the questions they ask Christians about the Bible, trying to scrutinize to make sure that they find fault in the Bible, if they should do half of it with the Quran, I can assure them that many of them will not be Muslims today. The reality is that Jesus died in the flesh and rose up again on the 3rd day. Death is the separation of the spirit from the body. God is spirit who took on flesh. So in death, God separated himself from the body he took to come to save man. So Jesus coming to die is God coming to take flesh. So Jesus dying is God dropping the flesh he took to go back to heaven. Muslims always come with the claims that the Bible have been corrupted, even when they don't have any proof to these claims. But if it is true, then Allah has lied in this regard. For not protecting his book, he said he will protect, and that same book that cannot be corrupted have been corrupted. It means that you are outrightly calling your God a liar for saying something that he cannot do. So guys, I believe that was an amazing one. Let us know what you were able to learn in the comment section. Share this video with your friends, your family. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Thank you for watching. We would love to see you in the next episode.